Over the past few years, the mainstream comic book industry has been in a very rough place, but now the Deadpool creator has warned the comic industry is going to have a huge collapse in 2024. I have a few different things to show off, but before we get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, follow me on social media, and consider supporting through Patreon or via YouTube memberships. So, this is a Fandom Pulse article. It says several mainstream professionals in the comic industry tried to make the case that everything is fine for comic sales, complete with false data that appeared on the surface like the comic industry was growing. I've had to talk about the comic book industry quite a lot on the channel, and this is something that we see happen all of the time. All of these comic professionals try to, shill for the industry and say that it's doing great and it's even, increasing, that sales are increasing, interest and popularity is increasing. And that's just not the case. There were, times many, many years ago where this would make a lot of us very sad, but honestly, at this point, I could really care less about the mainstream industry, and I know so many of you agree. But however, now Rob Liefeld has posted that he knows of major cuts coming to Marvel and DC Comics in 2024. So this is not just like some anonymous rumor that, we just don't really know who the source is or where it's coming from. No, this is coming from one of the top individuals in the industry, someone who I believe definitely would know. It says the alarm bells sounded 2 weeks ago for the comic industry when comic shop owner Glenn O'Leary went viral with a rant about the state of comics. I did talk about this in the subsequent follow-up of the cancel pigs that was going on. It was absolutely hilarious, and this has definitely sparked a lot of discussion about how the industry is doing. Of course, there are mainstream shills who want the industry to be doing fantastically and have said it is doing, which is definitely not the case, and then people who are realistic saying it's been struggling, and rather than listen to the owner, the industry attacked him, trying as they often do to label him a bigot, and like a superhero, fan favorite writer Mark Miller swept in to defend Glenn, coining the term cancel pigs to address those. But now Rob was one of those who chimed in, who made a post about woke comic Twitter, pointing out that they never had any solutions to the problems in comics, and he also mentioned these people who seem to be similar to the cancel pigs Miller discussed are to be avoided. I mean, I think most of us know that these individuals need to be avoided at all costs, that their opinions are ultimately invalid and they do not matter. And honestly, it's not even surprising to see Rob come out and say this, because his art has been attacked so much over the years. I've had to talk about him quite a few times. He does fantastic work, but of course, because proportions either aren't realistic enough for some people, he has been, the target of cancel culture by these cancel pigs many, many times. But despite the facts showing Marvel and DC Comics to be in massive trouble, dozens of mainstream industry pros who are responsible for the poor sales posted gloating about how the comics industry wasn't actually in decline, saying things like, if you see the old guard making lots of noise lately, purposefully being more vocal, there's a reason for that. Rob said this should be better understood in early 2024, and he further elaborated, I'm just an informed observer, and he implies that the comic industry will undergo major layoffs and restructuring. I've had to talk about, this specific topic a lot over the past few months, because this has been happening very heavily in the video game industry with, journalists and all of these, news sites, to even the companies themselves and the development groups. This has definitely happened. I mean, obviously, the comic industry is doing much worse than the video game industry. The video game industry is making hundreds of billions of dollars a year. But yes, it will be interesting to see if this does happen. It really wouldn't surprise me. And coming from someone like Rob, the Deadpool creator, I most certainly believe what he is claiming. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this, make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel, and if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.